Before I get into the video, I just want to ask anyone who's interested in my content and my game Project Dagger that you please consider subscribing to the channel. I saw that 90% of my viewers are not subscribed, and I was honestly blown away by that number, so let's get that number down by subscribing. Thanks, and enjoy the video. Hey YouTube, so while I do not have a full-fledged devlog this time, I do have a showcase video. This is how my humble project I began 6 months ago evolved into the product it is now. What the original vision was, and how that has changed, as well as what helped motivate me along the way. Originally, Project Dagger began as a 1-week test project to create a game that would work like Doom. It was going to have a set amount of levels with some narrative elements and be focused on 3D bullet hell combat. However, after 3 days of working on the project, I decided I was going to set out and create my dream project. An open world RPG taking elements from my favorite games growing up. Games like World of Warcraft, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Skyrim, and Cube World. The game after this point evolved into something that was still quite linear but a bit more open world, taking a lot of inspiration from PS2 games like Spyro, Sly Cooper, and Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. However, I was still not happy with this version of the game and felt that it did not really hold that much depth. Due to this, I planned out a list of mechanics and how those mechanics may interact with one another. And as time went on, more and more features were added, some in states that I was not really happy with, but helped show what the MVP or the minimum viable product would look and feel like. My biggest focus when creating the game at first was the art style. I used Unity's Pro Builder package to create the 3D models and Sprite to create the textures, characters, as well as animate the characters seen in the game. I put a heavy emphasis on color combinations and post-processing. Because of this, anytime I really posted images on Reddit or GIFs of the game, they did extremely well. One of my posts, which was a GIF of traveling through the tutorial area, got over 1,000 upvotes, which was the most motivating experience I've ever had. The game eventually evolved into the version seen in the Steam demo currently up on Steam right at this moment. Smaller zones with a blocky aesthetic and some bare bones mechanics. I participated in the Steam Next Fest, but overall that experience did not yield the results I was looking for, which made me go back to the aesthetic and the user experience within the demo and make some changes to how that experience functioned. I began my changes with overhauling the crafting system to something more readable, intuitive, and no longer would have you memorize crafting recipes and deal with the clunky interface. Now you simply go up to an anvil, alchemy station, or any other crafting station and the UI will pop up, allowing you an easy time crafting items. I then moved on to updating the game to use Unity's terrain system, which gave more elevation to the zones within the game, and Unity's terrain details really helped bring to life the grass, flowers, and bushes within the game. Now they all react to light, sway in the wind, and have a much easier time placing them in the world. I also worked on things like running, jumping, and expanding the zones in the game to be much larger. Now a zone like Meridian Forest is around 3 to 4 times larger than the entire map is in the demo, and that's just one single zone with 11 others planned and being worked on. This means that in the end, at launch, the game should have around 20 to 30 hours of gameplay. With the feedback from the demo, I also added in quest objective tracking, which helped improve the player experience greatly, as well as integrated the quest system into the dialogue system, so now you can learn about the world and get quests all within the dialogue, rather than having this soulless, clunky UI that just pops up on your screen. This now brings us to the present. I still have a lot of things I'm working on, like resource gathering, which is about halfway done, and I still got to work on the quest integrations with the dialogue, and improving the dialogue where you will have multiple branches for each NPC. I still need to improve boss fights, add in a map for zones in the world, and finish building out the other zones. This is all on track for an October release date, which means that Project Dagger will release just 10 months into development for a 2.5 person team. This team comprises of me, where I do all the programming, modeling, music, and a majority of the art, except for the new enemies that a friend of mine has been working on. And then another friend of mine who manages the social media profiles and helps write out the story and quest lines. That's going to be it for this video though. Please, if you enjoyed this video, go wishlist Project Dagger on Steam right now and subscribe to the channel. These two things are very important as it helps us gauge interest in the game and develop a larger community. If you're also interested, we have a growing Discord server now sitting at around 50 members, so consider joining that as well. Peace.